All right, and we are live. All right, let's see. Hi guys, and welcome to another RT live Q&A. Just gonna wait for you guys to jump on here. I pray that you can hear me, that you can see me loud and clear. Just waiting for someone to jump on to let me know that we can hear and see. The sun's gone. Typical. The sun's gone. Can you hear me, guys? Can you see me? I have a new camera, so I hope you guys like it. The DJI Osmo Pocket 3. Got a new mic as well. Trying out the mic. How is the sound? Can you hear what I'm saying? Is it breaking up a lot? I'm hoping that as we're on the stream a bit more, it kind of smooths out a little bit. How are we doing? Okay, shaky, but we can hear. All right. If you at any point can't hear anything that I'm saying, then I will try my best to say it again. Hi guys, welcome to another RT live Q&A. Said that already, you're welcome here. Share this stream, guys, let everybody know we're talking about all things track and field, sprinting in particular. We've got some questions about recovery today, we've got some questions about injuries, that sort of thing. The sound is shaky, it's breaking up. Okay. Is it getting any better? I don't know if I want to take the mic off because it's windy and I'm not sure how well you'll be able to hear me. Can you still hear me? Is it getting any clearer? Is it still the same? Let me see. Turn it down a little bit. Can you still hear me? Am I still breaking up? Is it any clearer? Are we getting better? Hello, welcome guys. As you come in, let us know where you're watching from. Just seeing if you can hear me at the moment. Then I'm going to get into your questions for today. Can you hear me? Hope so. Welcome to another RT live Q&A, guys. Let me know where you're watching from. Let me know what event you do. Are you a sprinter? Are you a sprinting enthusiast? Are you none of the above, but you're just interested in what we're talking about today? Hey, from Cyprus. There's an echo. I don't know what to do about that. Okay, what I'm going to do, I'm going to try turning my mic off. The only thing is, it might not be as clear the sound. So I'm going to try it without my mic, and then you can tell me how it sounds. Alright, this is me without the mic. Can you hear me? How is the sound without the mic? So, Tushi, am I saying your name right? Tushi. Hi from Cyprus, and your 100-meter visual is crisp. Yeah, the visual is looking great. What about the sound? We need the sound to work great too, right? Is it better without the mic? That's the question I'm having at the moment. Is it better without the mic? Or should I put the... Okay, it's better without the mic. Okay, so we'll go without the mic then. Hopefully you can still hear me, guys. Don't want to fall on my face. Fall on my face. There we go. Alright, better. Okay, we'll go without the mic then. Good stuff. Alright, guys. So, I try to do these lives monthly. For those of you who are new to my channel, my name's Tarima Thompson. That's the name of the channel. I am a sprinter. I am a coach. I am a personal trainer. Pure Track Coaching is my business. Hey girl. And yeah, we're here doing a monthly live where people have sent in questions about sprinting, about fitness, recovery, training, all of that good stuff. While we're live, you're welcome to ask questions in the chat. You're welcome to be interactive in the chat. I love it when you guys interact. It makes the live so much more fun. You know, doing YouTube videos is great, and obviously I haven't been able to edit and do as many videos as I used to do, so I'm trying to do these lives now so that I can still interact with you guys, still answer your questions, and hopefully be helpful. Hey Nancy, hey Elizabeth. Yeah, so like I said, let us know where you're watching from, what event you do when you jump in. If you're just a sprinting enthusiast, you're welcome here as well. So I'm going to do a few announcements before we get into the questions. So the first announcement is we've got a new training diary out. So I've got a new training diary out, guys. So for the last 5 years, I've released a new training diary around this time. So as we kind of end the season and go into a new season, a training diary is something that I've used since I was very, very young, probably like 13. So I've been using training diaries for like over 2 decades, and they're very helpful. So whether it's recording down your training, whether it's how you felt in that session, so any niggles you might have felt, how your body felt, any cues that you used that was helpful, you know, writing down your results, writing down your settings, all of that good stuff. So training diaries are really helpful, and I find I use a diary for everything. And I've now actually, because I have so many diaries, I don't have any space to keep storing them, so I had to look for something, a digital diary that I could use where I could write digitally, store things digitally, but still have the experience of writing. So that moved me onto a Remarkable since last year. So this is my Remarkable here. This is my Remarkable here. And so that allows me to like write by hand, but it's like all digital, right? And I had people ask me on another live where they were like, oh, can you make your training diaries like digital so that we can use them on our either our phones or iPads or, you know, tablets, or in my case on a Remarkable. So I've created a PDF version of a training diary, an athlete training diary, and that's now available. So Naomi is going to drop that in the chat for you guys, where you can get that digital diary. The other ones are still available via Amazon. You can find all the links via my website. But yeah, training diary, I've got a new PDF version out. I'm going to show you guys what it looks like, because I'll be using that for myself this year. I'm going to show you on my Remarkable what it looks like. Obviously, depending on what device you are using it on, it will appear like slightly differently in terms of the color. The Remarkable, it kind of dims the color a little bit, but you can still see the color. So I'm going to show you guys what it looks like. Hopefully you can see. It's kind of sunny where I am. So just like with all the other training diaries, you can use them starting in, not all of them actually, but the last few, you can use them starting in any month of the year. So as you can see, that's the cover. This is going to try and follow my face, so it's not going to let me show you. So the cover, so like I said, this is a Remarkable, so it doesn't show it as brightly as you'll see it on a phone or whatever. Then you've got, that's the copyright page, the same space to write your details, like your name, your big goal for the year, like your club, your event, your personal best, all of that good stuff. The same as like when you had in a physical copy, you've got space to do your competition schedule, so your date of the competition, the meeting and the location, the event that you did, and then the results you can put there as well. You've got space for your key settings such as your blocks, anything else that you do for your jumper as well, you can use that sort of thing. Maybe in the gym, some of your settings you can put there. Then you've got training and anything that you need, you can list it here as well. And then you've got every month, you've got a quote. You can put the month that it is, because you can start in any month. So this one, every race is one step at a time. Then you've got space for your goals, for your monthly goals. So different areas of your life, the different monthly goals you're going to put, and the date that you set them. Then you've obviously got you can put your training overview, so maybe you've got a training plan for the month, you can write it here. And then you've got the normal weekly plan, 5 weeks for each month. But yeah, that's what it looks like, guys. So you can see there's lots of pages for 12 months of the year. At the end of the book, at the back of it, I'll show you. At the back, you've also got the end of season review. And I'm thinking about doing a video where I go through the end of season review. Maybe like go through my own one. I've done it with some of my athletes already. But you've got, where is it? So I forgot to say, at the end of each month, you can review your goals. The monthly goals that you did, you can review them. And then you've got your end of season review here that you can do at the back. And training records, so anything that you do in training, like your best times in training, your best lifts in training, that sort of thing. So Let me get this back up here. Let's get this back up. So guys, I hope that, so if you're looking for a training diary, then you can grab that. That's the digital one, but there's also available, what happened to the screen? It's also available in physical copy. There's 5 different versions. That's the new one. It's now a PDF version. So I hope you guys like that. Some people were asking, so I hope you guys are going to make use of that. And I forgot to say, for the first 25 people that purchase the PDF version, they will get 25% off. All you need to do is use code FINALLY2025. Use code FINALLY2025, and the first 25 people to use that code before the end of this month will actually get a discount on that. So make sure you make use of that. Okay, let me get back to the questions. I think I had one more announcement before I answer the question. Think of your questions, guys. If you've got questions, you can ask them in the chat. The last announcement I'm going to say for today is reminding you guys about the Pura speed camp that's coming up in January, the 3rd week of January. I think it's the 19th to the 25th, correct me if I'm wrong. I think that's the week, the 3rd week in January. So we're having our annual speed camp. It was amazing this year. I still haven't released footage, but I'm still hoping to do that when I get some time. But it was great. We've got people signing up already. So yeah, if you're someone who's looking to get out of the cold in January, get some quality speed coaching, meet amazing people, be in a lovely environment, beautiful scenery, good food, fresh food, you know, spend some relaxing time away from work, away from the hustle and bustle of life, then make sure you check out our Pura speed camp that's coming up real soon, guys. Registration's gonna close at the end of November, I think the 26th of November. So make sure that you sign up if you're really interested in coming to that. All right, enough announcements, guys. Let's get into the questions. All right, so the first question that I'm going to answer is from @ProudSprintDad. My daughter wants to be both an athlete and a lioness when she's older. Did you take any other sport that's seriously as athletic when you were growing up? Hope the injury is progressing well. Hi, Proud Sprint Dad. He's a regular commenter, regular question asker. I don't even know what you call that, but yeah. And hi to Proud Sprint Dad's daughter. Yeah, I did actually. So before I did athletics, I did gymnastics. So I did gymnastics from ages 8 to 15 competitively. So it wasn't until I was 16 actually that I chose athletics as my official sport, or like official sport of choice, to make it my sole sport. Because in school I did pretty much all the sports, so netball, basketball, football, like everything. Football always got me injured, I can't lie. Netball, I was actually really good. I got scouted for England with that as well, but obviously I was doing athletics as well. So I did do another sport competitively, but at 16 I chose athletics, and that's when I first competed for Great Britain at 16 as well. And it was quite difficult, I'll be honest, to try and do 2 sports at such an elite level, but it's not impossible, especially if they're like complementary. So it's very possible to do both, but also you remember that also have to remember that you can kind of have seasons. So maybe she could do athletics first, I don't know, you can choose like what season you might want to focus more on one than the other, or like at certain points of the year you focus more on one sport than the other. But at 8 years old I don't think you have to choose, because you're so young. You can do both, honestly, you can do both at that time. Asha, can you beat speed? You talking about the YouTuber? I don't even know how fast he is really and truly. Hi, yin to the yang. Yeah, I don't know how fast he actually is, because some of the races and stuff are not like, they're not really representative. I don't know. Okay, at Mohit Chola 9791, that's my brother from another mother all the way in all the way in Germany. Are you in Germany, right? Yeah, recovery, man. It seems like going to work, training bus depletes me more than a running workout. Not sure if it's true or it's a mix of running and day-to-day stuff. So we had a little poll on our post, and we spoke about what people wanted to speak about, and one of them was recovery, right? And I really get that. When you train, like, that's why if you're like a competitive athlete and you're trying to become a professional, right, and you have a full-time job, it's very difficult. There's an advantage. That's why professional athletes, that's all they do, so to speak. They might have like, you know, sponsorships and media commitments, all that kind of stuff, but you don't want to have things that like drain you, because it's very difficult to recover, because work can be very stressful on the mind, but it creates the same effect on the body sometimes. So, oh yeah, I forgot to answer the question about my leg. I'll answer that in a minute, Shona. Thank you. And I got your question here, Shona, as well. Yeah, so recovery when you are working full time, you're commuting, you're traveling to work, you're coming back, you've got kids, you've got all these other responsibilities, can be really hard. So it's one of those things of trying to find a balance. I think one of the things that you might have to do is, you may not be able to train as often as someone who is a full-time athlete, for example, but you need to just make sure your sessions are quality. So I would say one of the things to think about is how much you do in a session and how often you train. It obviously depends on athlete to athlete. Some people recover quicker, some people don't. Some people have very high output, so it takes them longer to recover. But then also it's things like your sleep, how much sleep are you getting, what food you're eating to help you feel energized, to help you recover after training, to help you feel yourself for training. And then it's things like, when I go back to sleep, with regards to like winding down is very important before you sleep. Like sometimes when you just conk out, your body you don't get into an actual state of rest. You fell asleep, but you don't get into a state of rest, and it's really hard when you're busy. I'm speaking like I get to do it all the time, because I know, come from work, go home, do more work, then sometimes you just conk out, right? But having a few things that you do that helps you to really feel relaxed before you sleep can help you wind down better. Implementing things like getting massages regularly, if you find like ice baths helpful, if you find like going to steam rooms, saunas, that sort of thing helpful to help your muscles relax. Basically doing things on a regular basis that helps you to recover better, and kind of the same way you have a training routine, have a recovery routine. And also, your training cannot be high like all the time. You just can't. Like there has to be some sort of periodization to your training. There has to be some sort of like, sometimes you might need down weeks, you know, sometimes you might need to step away from your normal training and just give yourself some active recovery. So that might be things that don't require as much intensity, things that allow your mind to relax a little bit better. I'm going to get to some of these questions. I forgot to answer Proud Sprint Dad's question about hope the injury is progressing well, and Shona asked me the same question, how's the leg now? So guys, for those of you that don't know, I got into an accident at the end of July at the England Champs. So an athlete fell in front of me and I ended up jumping over her to try and avoid her, and in that process I tore my ACL, which is your anterior cruciate ligament, one of the ligaments in your knee, very important ligament in your knee, they're all important. And then I also tore my meniscus. So that was the end of July, the last week in July, the last Saturday in July. So it's been 8 weeks now, actually, 8 weeks like in a couple of days. So pain wise I'm a lot better, movement wise I've got a lot more movement and stuff like that. I am still pre-surgery, so I haven't had surgery yet. It is something that you need surgery for, because if you've torn your ACL completely, it doesn't just reconnect itself. They have to recreate another one, they have to reconstruct another one. So that's why I'm kind of like doing rehab before surgery to restore like muscle strength, because I lost a little bit, and to just keep the muscles like strong, because the better the knee is going into surgery, the better it will be coming out. So thank you for asking. That's where I'm at. I see a surgeon again in a couple of weeks, so I'll know a little bit more about that once that comes. Let me go back to some of these questions. Someone was asking about iShow speed, right? Can you beat speed? Oh my god, hi. How fast are you? My personal best for 100 is 11:58. I ran 11:55 windy this year, 11:67 legal this year. Didn't get to keep running. I ran 11:55 the day before I got injured, so I was just getting into my peak of the season and I didn't get to finish it. 60 meter wise, I've run 7:44 league, like in a competition. In training I've run 7:35, so I know I can run faster than I've run in competition and in training, because you always run faster in competition than you do in training, and that's by myself. So yes, he's overrated, you would smoke him, lol. Thanks Tushi. Feel free to drop the questions here. Yes guys. Okay, let me see what you're saying. Which beavid, I don't know what that means. Go check the rugby video and the latest sprint he did. Okay, I'll have a look. I haven't seen any latest ones. Yeah, speed is fast compared to the average content creator, but he's not going to beat most of the normies. That's what I was saying. I don't know how fast he actually is. Like when it comes to sprinters, I don't know how fast he is like against real sprinters. I know he done that race against No Love, but No Love was literally jogging. So yeah. How to improve the start while sprinting. So how to improve your start. If you've never done a lot of practice, first of all, the start is very, very technical and it's quite challenging for a lot of people. So that's why you've got even some sprinters who find it very difficult to get a good start. They might have amazing top end speed, but they still find it difficult to get out of the block. So it's very technical. It requires you to coordinate and recoordinate your limbs really quickly. You have to have amazing coordination, and you need to be very explosive. You'll find that people who are very explosive in the gym are usually very good at the start, like that initial like burst of power. You need to work on your reaction. So getting in the right positions, obviously, so it takes a lot of practice. So if it's something that you don't practice, you need to implement it. You should have like technical days, and a start is part of the technical days that you're going to do because it requires a lot of practice. So practice is one of the main things, honestly. But you can utilize things in terms of practicing like the first few steps. Practice with a pulley so you can get the angles, with a prowler so you can get the angles, so you can learn how to drive properly. Obviously strengthening up your core, strengthening your body so you have the strength to be able to actually hold positions, working on your power, so doing more plyometrics to help you be a bit more powerful, more stuff explosive stuff in the gym to help you be a bit more powerful. Yeah, so let me see. Oops, wrong day. I'm gonna ask you guys a question. Did you compete this year? How did your season go? I want one thing that you found, one thing that was like one of your highlights of the year, and something that you might want to work on going into the new season. So how did your season go? Did you compete? Yes or no? What events did you do? One thing that you highlight of the year and something that you want to work on going into the new season. I've lost my question. Here we go. That's my question to you. I'm going to give you one from my nation. I'm not sure what you're talking about now, guys. Alright, let's go to another question. So, this is from Shona Loren 5117. Hey Shona, I don't know if you're still live, I hope you are. I am 33 and ran track in my youth. Every time I try to do any kind of sprint training, particularly when running at 100%, I seem to pick up some form of injury or niggle. Is this an age thing? How can I avoid these repeat injuries so I can sprint again? This is a really good question, like a really, really good question. I want to say more than an age thing because I'm 35, so it's not just an age thing. Like most of the time it's an age thing because most people's body is not conditioned to sprint. That's the reality. Sprinting is you're literally pushing your body, like you said, at 100%. Like you have to, everything needs to be conditioned, everything needs to be ready to be able to do that. And if you go from zero to hero, it's of course you're going to get injured. You have to prepare your body to be able to handle that sort of intensity. So you have to have like progression. You have to progressively build your program. And also just like in a session itself, you have to progressively prepare your body, right? So let me give you a few things that can help you. So number one, most people's warm-ups are not sufficient for sprinting. That's the reality. The normal, obviously jogging or skipping is going to get you pulse rate, but it's not enough to just go straight into sprinting, okay? So, and even that, like, so one of the things I was thinking about when I saw this question is, I have a self-management routine or like a sprinter's warm-up that I give to my clients, and if you guys are interested in this, let me know in the comments, because what I will do is I'll make that available, like that you can download as a PDF, like the whole warm-up that we give, and it will have video links and all of that stuff, right? The whole warm-up that I give to my athletes, because we go through all the things, so like from your pulse rating like you would do, but your shoulder mobility, your hip mobility, your ankle and feet work that you need to do before you start sprinting, glute activation, like all the things to help you actually prepare your body properly for the next part of your warm-up, because then you have like drills. And then even in terms of sprinting, I would never suggest that somebody goes from never sprinting before to suddenly now you're going to, like, obviously you sprinted before, not that you sprinted before, but not sprinting for a long time, so all of a sudden now you're going into trying to sprint 100%. It's asking for injuries, right? And even, I don't know how even distance wise, trying to do long distances at, like, let's say long distances, but longer sprint distances at 100%, it's kind of asking for injuries in a way. So your program needs to be progressive. So whether that's like the intensity, so like gradually building up the intensity, gradually building up the distances, gradually incorporating more things into your training is going to be important. Conditioning your body, whether that's with like, you know, body weight, strength and conditioning, gym work, like actual weight lifting, conditioning your body so it can handle the thing, what you're trying, the amount of intensity you're about to give it. And then even stuff like drills and plyometrics, how you perform them, the intensity that you perform them, that's a good way to begin to prepare your body to be able to handle the volume and the work of sprinting. So I'm not surprised if I wouldn't say that it's will she read the chat? Yeah, I read the chat. Love from India. Hi India. I don't think that it's necessarily an age thing per se. I think it's more a lack of conditioning thing, because you can get a lot of injuries when you're young, and I got a lot of injuries when I was young, and more so it's like your body's just not able to handle the intensity that you're putting it under at that particular time. So there's been a lot of things I've had to do to get my body to, imagine guys, 14 years after I ran 11.5, I ran 11.5 after 14 years. So it's not an age thing per se, it's about getting your body to a place where it can handle what you're trying to get it to do. That's why it breaks down a lot. That's why a lot of fast people get injured so often, is their body can't handle it at that time. So you have to get your body to be able to, half of the work of sprinting is getting your body to be able to handle what you're trying to get it to do. Like, it's not a normal thing. The normal person doesn't sprint like that. Normal person can go jogging, right? Normal person doesn't sprint. So to allow yourself to sprint, you have to prepare your body. So Claire's saying that a warm-up routine would be very helpful, so I'll try and put that together for you guys. If you're not on my email list, then I will say sign up to my email list, because I haven't finished it. I started it, but I thought, let me ask you guys if you actually want it before I finish this thing and you don't want it. But if you're interested, sign up to my email list. Maybe we'll put the link in the chat, and then when it's ready, I'll send an email to let you guys know that it's ready, and you can actually download that, right? And I'll include like all the video. It'll have all the video links in there for you, so you will know, like, it's literally give you the routine step, everything to do, right? And it's a starting place. It's very comprehensive. I try to include a lot of things because I've had a lot of injuries over my life, so I know things that you need to do to help your body, right? But then you're unique too, so there'll be things that you might want to add. And yes, it means that your warm-up is long, but that's how you get your body to a place where it's going to help you to not get the sort of injuries that Shona's talking about. Let me see what the chat is saying. So Shrikant, I'm sorry if I'm saying your name wrong, but hi. Dill progressive count 29. I don't know what that means, I'm sorry. I'd like a warm-up routine. Let her read the script first. I don't know what you mean. Let me go back. I missed something, I think. Oh, there's a wasp. Okay. Alright, you know I've never been stung before, guys, so I'm not planning to get stung now. Okay, simply anyone who would run a 10.7 and below would most likely beat speed. Will broad jump and vertical jump help in sprinting? Also, you said gym, what exercises in the gym may help in sprint? Okay, so broad jump and vertical jump, they are a broad jump, so yes in a general answer, yes. Okay, I'll say broad jump more. That's like, so you, when it comes to plyometrics, really, you got like, I say you should say jump training and plyometric training. I would say, even though we just say plyometrics like generally, right? But with broad jumps, like standing long jump, is what for other people that might not know what a broad jump is. You're basically doing like one jump and you're seeing how far you can jump, right? Now, if that is like, for me, if I'm progressing a program, for example, doing a broad jump is still beneficial, but you have more time to, like, because you kind of bend and squat and then you jump, right? Whereas if you're doing a double leg bound, you have to, as soon as you land, you've got to jump again. Now that becomes harder because what you have to do, you've got to be ready for the ground, you've got to be ready to absorb the forces and then create force again in a shorter space of time than you get to when you do a broad jump. Now again, like I said, whoever asked the question about the start, people who are very good at broad standing long jump, they are usually good at the start as well. Like, they usually have a very good start, a very explosive start. So it's a plyometric exercise, but there's lots of different plyometric exercises, not just box jump, not just standing long jump or vertical jump, right? You've got things where you have to repeat the movement and where you have a short time to produce force. That's very good. So like running bounds. But starting place might be something like skips, even skips for height, skips for distance. I like to start with that with clients because it's kind of a bit more low level, and it starts to begin to teach sort of like the ability to produce force a bit quicker than say like just one jump. Gym wise, what was the question? Gym wise, right, you're going to start with the basics. Now that we're going back into winter training, you might not be in winter depending where you live, but let's say September, October, November, December is usually when people go into like winter training or off season. Some people might call it that. We call it winter training in the UK, right? This is where you want to build strength. Yeah, you're gonna have things that can be deeper, more volume. Oh no, I think I'm not live anymore. Am I still live, guys? Oh my days, I think I'm not live anymore, you know. Am I still live? Okay, I'm gonna talk. I'm not sure if I'm still live. I can't see the chat now though, that's the problem. Okay, it's back. The chat's back. Alright, my all this technology, guys, all this technology. I just need someone who sits here with me and they can focus on that and I can just focus on the stream because this is like stress. Anyway, I'm back. Alright, cool. What was I talking about now? We was talking about, I've literally lost my train of thought. Someone remind me what I was talking about. I can't remember. Gym. We talking about gym? I think so. The gym. I can't remember what I was saying. Okay. Thank you. I can't remember what I was talking about, guys. Alright, I'll come back to it. If someone reminds me what I was talking about, then I can come back to that. Okay. VMO bro. I just sprained my ankle playing basketball. Oh, sorry about that. Was told it was grade 2 and might be out for weeks. When should one normally begin rehab? I would say, well, I'm not a physio. I would say whatever the physio tells you to do. I don't want to give you false information, but I would say more so like if you can walk without, once you can get to a place where you can kind of like walk without the pain, then it's probably better. You don't want to like force it and then make it worse. Winter training, you are live. LOL. Best workout for explosive power. Okay, thank you. Training in the winter. Oh, okay, we're talking about winter training, yeah? Alright, so you want to start building strength. So we're talking about gym work, right? Because yeah, so in terms of gym, like that's the time I was saying about what I was about to say was that we can start like with the basics. So your nice, deep, heavy compound lifts. I bet you'll kind of build up the weight obviously, but your reps might be a bit higher, the depth of your movement might be deeper, the time that you take to perform the movement will be a little bit slower. Then it gradually gets quicker, gradually gets heavier, less reps, more explosive, right? The closer you get to competing, and the range might decrease a little bit so it can be more explosive, so that there's less time to produce that power, because power is speed times strength. So squats are great. Now let's talk in like movement patterns. So for example, squat movement, you can do squats, so that might be back squats, front squats, but I like to start with goblet squats, progress that into front squats, progress that into back squats. You can always lift heavier with back squats than you can with front squat, but front squats are good, they engage the core, they're a bit more quad focused a little bit, yeah. Deadlifts are also great. If someone can't have issues with like their back or something like that, you can use a leg press machine, but obviously I always prefer free weights first, and then if you need to use the machine, then you can use it. Obviously the machine might let you lift heavier, that sort of thing, but not all machines can go that deep. It depends what you have available. In terms of a hinge movement, you've got things like RDLs are amazing, you've got things like hip thrust, that's targeting your posterior chain. Now for sprinting, your back, your glutes, your hamstrings, they're very important, so you need to work them, right? So then, like I said, hamstring work, adductor, because we want to minimize that movement from side to side, yeah? Core work. So these are things that you can implement into your gym. Hope that's helpful. Aisha Singh, are you fast? How about that? Are you fast? LOL. Would practicing running more than 100 meters, say 110, help in keeping up the speed in the last 10 meters of the 100, or does it not really help? Yeah, it helps 100%. But what we call that, when you run over distance, we call it speed endurance. Hang on. So there's different types of speed endurance, but we don't just, I've said this so many times in live, but I think I'll probably forever say it because most people just don't know that. Like, let's say your distance is 100, your sessions are most of the time not 100. Like, that's most of the time, that's not your session. Like I said, apart from, like, if I think about my history of training, what I do with my client, most of the time, they're gonna do 100 maybe at the beginning of the winter, if we're doing like back-to-back 100s, general fitness, a bit of tempo, split, maybe if you're doing a split 200, or if it's like a model 100 meter run in like, say, competition season. However, most of the time, your session is not going to be 100. We need to break that 100 meters up and pull it apart, right? So that means start work, acceleration work, max velocity work. That means speed endurance, so that you can, like you said, maintain your speed at the end. So yes, 110 meters are great. 120, 150, like, you've got extra differences. You've got work like in and out. You've got 90 meters that you can work on certain things. 70, like, you got different sessions. So yeah, most of the time we're not going to do 100. So doing 110, yes, Captain Britain. I forgot that that's AB. I just realised now. Yeah, yeah, it will definitely help. But yeah, we're progressing your program, AB. So you're not doing 110 at the moment, because when we do 110, it's not going to be tempo. It's not going to be tempo. So that's not how when I'm doing 110, it's not going to be tempo. So yeah, you got to build up to being able to hold speeds for that. So yeah, it does help. Anyway, who is this person that's always asking me if I'm gay? The same person? No, I'm not. I don't know why you're always asking me that. Like, it's so weird because no one asked me that in my life, and then all of a sudden in 2 streams, 2 people are asking me that. I don't understand. Thank you for answering my question. I really love your content. Would love the warm-up PDF. That would be amazing. Okay, I will have a go at getting that sorted for you guys. And I know me put in the chat the link for my email list. So sign up to that, and when it's ready, I'll be able to actually let you guys know. Mohammed, for a 17 years old, 100 meters in 11 seconds, is it good? For 17-year-old, yeah, that's good. I'm 14 years old. I failed in provincial athletics meet, and I'm about to quit my journey. What should I do? Oh, don't quit, you're only 14. And when you say you failed, what do you mean? There's no such thing. I heard someone say there's no such thing as failure. It's only like learning experience. Especially at 14, you can't say you failed. How do you fail in 100? Like, the only way you failed is if you didn't show up. The only way you failed is if you quit, like you got to the line, or you just quit. Like, if you actually finished the race, if you got through, like, if you didn't finish the race because you got injured or something, that's not failure either. So when you say you failed, like, you have to change your mindset. Like, only learning experience. Maybe you had a goal and you didn't achieve that goal, but you can just take away the positive. That's why I said, if you guys haven't, I've got a video called 7 questions to ask yourself at the end of the season. And that helps you to go through like some reflective questions on the season, because sometimes you look at it like, oh, I'm such a failure, oh, that was such a rubbish season. You have to see things differently. So there's always something positive that you can take away. What did you do well? Even if it's that you showed up, even if you weren't feeling great that day and you came, you still warmed up, you went through it. It doesn't matter if you didn't achieve your goal. That doesn't necessarily mean that you failed. Okay, you may not have achieved your goal, but it doesn't mean you won't achieve your goal one day, isn't it? So at 14, please don't give up. There's so much more you can still achieve. If you were in a place where you've done everything, training went perfectly, you had the best equipment, the best training sessions ever, the best coach, everything was perfect, and then you have nothing else that you can improve, then you can say, there's nothing else for me to do. But the fact that you've got so much, you're still growing, you can still get stronger, still get faster, you can still change your training and improve it. You can get a coach, you can get a new group. There's so many things you can do to get better. So there's so much ways that you can improve. So don't quit at 14. Keep going. And if I'm more than double your age, yeah, I'm nearly 3 times your age. And if I can run times I haven't run it in your whole life, yeah, then you can still do that. So don't give up now. Tom says, how important is the mental preparation for a race? Very important. like 80% of it is mental. Honestly, 80% of it's mental. Like, it is. So the mental side, if your mind is good, your body will run fast. It's just that. If you have any doubts, immediately it slows you down. Like, sprinting is so mental that people don't understand. Like, yeah, so it's so important. So important. So if anything, working on that more than anything, because you do all the weeks, when you're training, work on that mental side as well. So a lot of it is getting that confidence in your body. Like, okay, I've done this a million times, so it's like, that's something that you don't have to think about. But the mental side, when it comes to a competition, because there's always so many stimuluses, like, everything doesn't go smoothly. The weather could be rubbish. Like, there's so many things. So yeah, the mental side in preparation for a race is a lot. So yeah, like I said to you guys, a trainer diary is very helpful. Record, like, I found, even when I started doing my vlogs, like, recording yourself, even if you don't post it, recording yourself, recording how you feel that day, even if it's a voice note or a video, even if you never make a vlog, who cares? Even if you write a blog and you never post it, looking back on it yourself, like, when I look back on my vlogs and then I can see, like, where I was, it helps you. So yeah, it's very, very important. What are the struggles you have had to go through being an athlete, and how do athletes make a living? Oh, what struggles? Oh, what struggles? A lot of struggles. Who asked me that question? Mohammed. Yeah, what are the struggles? Right, let's keep it real, guys. Athletic is hard. Yeah. So what I would say first and foremost is that you've got to love this sport. You've got to love it, because it's hard. It is hard, but it's very rewarding in so many different ways. Like, I've got a video where I talk about I forgot what the title is, but I basically talk about all the different ways that you can be successful in athletics, even if you don't become a professional. There's so many aspects that it gives. So like first and foremost, I'll say, especially if you're so young, you're still a teenager, right? Enjoy what you're doing, because otherwise you're not going to stick it out. Because I think I said it in my last live last month, even though you might be a sprinter, the journey is like more like a marathon than a sprint. So you've got to be prepared for that. Like, some people, especially when you're like 14, 15, 16, 17, you're thinking, oh yeah, tomorrow I want to make it. And some people, they develop early, so they become a professional athlete when they're very, very young. But sometimes, most of the time, you need to give yourself at least 10 years. At least 10 years. So first of all, the first challenge is this. What someone asked before, the first challenge is your mind. You've got to become very resilient, have a lot of tenacity, because like I said, this is sport. Injuries happen. It's very frustrating when you can't train the way you want to train. You're not hitting times you used to hit, or you have a goal and you're not quite there yet. You have to be able to persevere. You have to be able to keep having that belief that you can get better. Keep having that tenacity to keep working, even if you're not seeing anything yet. Even the fact of having to train for months, let's say September, October, November, December, before you compete in January. That's if you do indoors. Not everyone does indoors. So if you do indoors, you might compete January to March. If you don't, you've got basically 6 months of training before you even compete. That already is hard. You've got to go through the winter, the snow, the rain, like all of that before you even compete. So this, first of all, is the biggest challenge, right? Being able to get through the injuries. Sometimes the injuries are like small niggles that linger. Sometimes they're big injuries that just take you out, and you have that whole thing to go through. So there's that side. If you're an athlete who never gets injured, then you're like 1 in a million, okay? At some point, injuries are part of the journey, unfortunately. As much as possible, you try to reduce that. Sometimes you get through like a long period without injuries, and we praise God, right? But you have to know that it's sport. That's what happens in sport. You're trying to push your body to its maximum. Take it to places it's never been before. So that is a challenge, right? Then it's just the challenge, the fact that life happens. So whether it's loss, whether you lose a family member, whether you lose a job, whether things happen in life that can affect you, affect your mood, affect what you're going through. Financially, that can be very difficult, because whether it's from paying for facilities, paying for coaching, paying for equipment, right? And if you don't have a sponsor, it can be an extra weight, paying to get to competition, to travel, to stay over. Like, it's money. And if you're then trying to balance a job so that you can pay for that stuff, that's another challenge, where you're now trying to juggle training and work, which is what someone asked before. You're tired, you can't train as well because you're tired, and you're having to juggle that. So you see, there's a lot of things that you have to balance, right? We're all go through, like, life happens, and unfortunately we live in a fallen world. So things happen, bad things happen in our lives, and we have to learn how to overcome them, either like channel, like use some of the what you might perceive as negative emotions and feelings and experiences and turn them into positive things, you know, let it out on the track. Use track can be a nice outlet, you know, for mental health, for like even emotional release and stress, all that kind of stuff. So there's a lot of things to overcome. It can be very rewarding, and that's the thing, it can be like when you actually do run those personal bests, you know, get to experience amazing things like traveling the world to compete or competing for your country, or you know, you're in an amazing group and you look forward to being with them, then it can be really, really rewarding. So like I said, right now just make sure that you love it, but there's that's the reality. Like just like life, there's challenges in life, there's challenges in track. So I hope that answered your question. Let me go back. Thank you guys, I love these questions, keep them coming. Does sprinting help build speed in football or soccer? Yes, it does. So a lot of times in off season you'll see footballers come and do sprint training, and now I would say in the last 10 years it's become even more like popular, prevalent, that you see a lot of footballers doing a lot more sprint training, or even getting a speed coach to help them on the pitch, because if you can have speed on a pitch, it gives you like an added value as a player, doesn't it? So yes. Okay, I run 200 meters in 29 seconds, 100 meters in 14 seconds. I have to do more, isn't it? I'm 14. When you say you have to do more, what do you mean? So you when you say you need to do more, what do you mean? But what this tells me is that you actually have quite good speed endurance, because if you can run exactly like like double your 100 meter time, your speed endurance is quite good. You just need to do more speed endurance work, and at a lot higher paces than you currently do, and be prepared that you might be someone who ends up doing 400. Yeah, like wherever your talent takes you guys, be open for it. I'm not going to tell you that 400 meter training is fun, because it's not, but if that's where your talent takes you, then embrace it. Run the whole track now. I can't. You clearly don't know that I have a torn ACL. I cannot run anything right now. So also, do big dreams come true? Do big dreams can come true? Like my big dream, I mean really big dream, I guess you're trying to say, can you achieve what you have in your heart, right? All things are possible, but you have to believe first. If you don't believe, then it can't happen. You have to believe first. You need to make a plan, and you need to implement that plan, right? There's no point just having a dream but you're not taking any steps towards it. You have to be realistic about what it takes to get there. So big dreams are more than possible, but you have to be realistic. Most time you have a big dream, it's going to require a lot of work. That's why I said to you guys, give yourself 10 years, like 10,000 hours. Like it's going to take a lot. Anyone who's been successful, they will tell you the amount of work it took to get there, the amount of discipline it took to get there. They do things that other people are not willing to do, and if you're not willing to do things that other people are not willing to do, you can't expect to achieve your big dreams. I heard from a nutritionist last week that if you eat a little carb, like even a sweet before you race, you perform better. Do you think that perform better? Do you do that, and what do you think? If you eat a little carb, even a sweet before, it can help you, but I think also I don't personally like, so let's say like in a race. So obviously we know generally like you want to eat 2 to 4 hours before you exercise, so that includes like a race. But yeah, having something to give you a boost of energy before you run will help you. I don't necessarily eat, because on a competition I don't necessarily eat like just before I race, because it will probably make me feel sick, I'll be honest. But I'll have like say caffeine gum, or I might have like energy gel or something like that. So yes, in answer to your question, but it's not necessarily before the heat. It might be before the semi or final, but it depends. But it's not just like a all the time thing. I think as you compete, because it's one thing to say, like when they do studies it's very controlled, and they find with people, like I was reading some study the other time, and realistically if people could just keep eating an energy gel, they would, like you could get energy forever, for example. Not say forever, but I'm just exaggerating the time frame. But as a human, you can't take the same taste over and over and over again. So at some point you've got to change up what you do, or at some point you need real food because you will feel sick. So there's different elements that happen. So yes, in a way, yes, like a little bit will help boost your energy before that race, so to speak, but you have to take into the fact you've got nerves, you might need to go to the toilet, all the different things. So I don't necessarily like do it all the time. I might sometimes have a packet of raisins, or I might have energy gel. So yes, in answer to your question, but it's not like immediately. It might be like within the hour, or like depends how long my next race, before my next race. Elizabeth, do you get anxious or doubt yourself right before a race, or is it one of those things that happened at the beginning of your journey? Oh yeah, I think now I don't get as anxious as I used to. There was times when I used to get really nervous, like before a competition, but I think it depends. Like when I first came into the sport, you get nervous for different reasons. Sometimes you get nervous because you're not sure where you are. Like the first race of the season, I might feel nervous because even though I've got like time to train, and it's like, oh, I haven't raced for ages, what am I like against other people? But I think the more that I've given myself, like I actually time certain things more systematically, I've gained more confidence, because I know the history. Like if I do this in training, it means I'm going to run this in a competition, or you refine something so much that you have more confidence, so it helps you in that way. But I think so the nerves change, because let's say like it's a massive championship and you really want to do well, you have a different kind of nerves, and it might be like a quiet confidence at the same time. So I wouldn't say that nerves automatically eliminate altogether, like the more experience you get in your journey, but you might have different nerves depending on, like the nerves are different. So it might not be so much like, oh, I don't know how I'm going to do, or where am I compared to these people, because you might have confidence in that way, but it might be nerves because when something means a lot to you, it's good to have some sort of energy, like I would say nervous energy. It might just be like anxiousness, or like, some sort of thing that shows that you care. When you don't have that, sometimes it's like, oh, but it might come across differently. So it might be like this quiet, calm confidence, and usually that's when you're going to run really fast. When you have like this, you have a bit of like that sort of like, I don't know, that feeling, but you don't have the nerves that make you like so jittery. So it kind of changes. But I think I made a little short about this but a few months ago, or last month, whatever. That's like confidence helps you run fast. So like the more experience you gain, because even though you have experience over years, sometimes when you get injured and you lose like some fitness or whatever, that can play on your mind. So that's like I said, the nerves can be different depending on what your training's been like, what your season's been like, all of that kind of stuff. So the confidence helps you to run fast, and I think the more you have the data, the more you have the experience, it really helps you to channel your nerves better. And the nerves might be different. It might be just because it means more, or like it's different. You might have different nerves where you're like, today I'm going out there to win. Like other people might like, today I'm going out there to win. So you have a different kind of nerves compared to, it's a competition where everyone's so fast, I don't know what I'm going to do. So it's a different kind of nerve. So I hope that answers the question. How long do you train a day? Also, will strength training help in explosiveness? How long do you train a day? Personally, right now, right, I'm just going to remind the people that just came on, I am at the moment injured. So there's minor injuries, there's major injuries. I've currently sustained a major injury because I have a torn ACL and a torn meniscus, and it's going to require surgery. So guys, I'm sitting out here for you. If I could show you the setup, it was hard for me. I got my 2 crutches there, I got my bag here. So all of this, I'm sitting on a chair, like, to make this live possible for you guys. So right now, my training is just, I'm trying to do a bit of rehab here and there. It just doesn't really count. On the normal week, I am a personal trainer and I'm a coach, so I fit my training in between my clients. I have a 3-hour slot to do my sessions, so I try to do as much as I can in that time. In terms of will strength training help with explosiveness? Yes, it will help, but I'm gonna say I'm gonna say to a point, right? You're not trying to be a bodybuilder, you're not trying to be a weightlifter, you're not trying to be the world's strongest man. So it's bearing that in mind, okay? When you look at sprinters, we look a certain way. You don't look like a bodybuilder, you don't look like the world's strongest man. Too much muscle bulk is going to slow you down. So you need to find what's that optimal strength, right? So power is speed times strength. So you want to be as strong as you can whilst being moving as fast as you can, right? Being as explosive as you can, being able to utilize that strength. So if you get to a point where it's too heavy, you can't use that strength anymore, then you put on too much, you bulk, right? So it's trying to get as strong as you can and being able to use that strength to move quickly, right? So yeah. I will be able to run 200 meters in 26 seconds. and 100 meters in 12 seconds, how long it takes. Well, you're 14, and when you're 14, are you a boy, a guy, you usually are still growing, and if you actually have a proper winter training, progressive, you could maybe do that next year, honestly, like, because I don't know what the training was like this year, so it could be that you didn't even really train this year. I have no idea, so it's hard to say how long it will take, but it's more than possible. Does geographical place matter in soccer? Guys, we've got about 5 minutes, 10 minutes maximum left, okay? In soccer or sports, specifically, like, people have become world-class players from Europe, all over the world, but not from India. So can I become the first one, like, for real? I think geographic, like, where you live, the reason, it's what you have access to more, isn't it? Like, it makes it difficult if you're from a place where, let's say, like, I know in India, because I'm on YouTube and you guys message me all the time, you're like, oh, we don't have any coaches, we don't have any good coaches. Now, obviously, there's different what's it called, I don't want to say, like, people from different economic backgrounds, even with India. So some people who have a lot of money, some people don't have a lot of money. That's the same pretty much everywhere, right? But most of the time, if you want a good coach, you have to invest something, and a lot of times you guys are not willing to invest something. Now, thankfully, there's a lot of free, you can pretty much learn anything on YouTube, right? But maybe you might want to be someone who's going to go, do you know what, I really want to invest, so for the next 6 months I'm going to save for 6 months so I can get a coach to help me for whatever amount of time, who knows, right? But there's sometimes, if you really want to do more, like I said, you've got to be willing to do stuff that other people are not willing to do. So it's more than possible, but a lot of times it's what you have access to. And then obviously, like, with sprint training, like, just putting random things together is not really going to cut it. Might work to a degree or to a point, but there's principles of training, there's stuff that works for a reason, and you have to kind of, if you don't have that knowledge, you need someone who does have that knowledge to help you do that. And to have that, you normally need to invest a little bit, and if you can't do it now, then you're gonna have to save. And not saying that insensitively, I've had to, like, someone's asking, you know, what challenge have you gone through? I've gone through being in the pit where you've got, like, nothing, to having to work myself up. So we all go through different seasons in life, but a lot of time it's the internal qualities, like how much determination you have, hard work, resilience, like your mindset towards things. If you just have a defeated attitude, oh, it's not fair, woe is me because I'm from India, nothing's going to happen for me, then you won't make it. So you have to be willing to, like, think outside the box, try to do things differently, right? And you might not be able to have ongoing, but maybe you can have, like, an input once a month or something like that. So you just got to think differently, right? But also, if there's a few of you, maybe can come together to buy something that's going to help all of you collectively. Like, there's different things, but I think it's not just necessarily just where you're from, but what you have access to. And a lot of times, like, what you're willing to, like, invest, you kind of invest, like, in what you find, what you want to. At the end of the day, if you really want to make something, you'll find a way. Everyone finds a way to make it out, no matter where they come from. Like, there's always a first. Like, last year Julian Alfred was the first medal from St. Lucia. Again this year in the World Championships, the first medal from St. Lucia. So it's like, it's always possible to be the first, but if you want to be the first, you've got to do things differently. Scholarship might be your way out. You've got to figure out what's my way out so that I can then get to where I want to be. If I've got to do a job I don't want to do right now until I can do what I want to do, you have to think differently. If I quite like athletics for about 6 months, if I quit athletics for 6 months, will I be able to keep my performances? Probably not. You'll get them back once you start training, but you need to, if you're not training, one of the simple training principles is reversibility. If you don't use it, you lose it. It doesn't mean you can't get back there, but you'll get back there quicker than you did before you got there the first time. However, if you don't use it, you lose it. Like, speed is one of those things. You can't just, when men go, oh, I can still run 12 seconds, I'm now 49, but I've never run for the last 30 years. Why do you think you can still run that? You can't. Like, you can't. So you need to be realistic. Like, if you don't train, you lose it. You can get it back, but you've got to do the work to get it back, right? So you won't just keep your performances if you stop training. You have to. That's why athletes train year upon year. That's why even when we have a break, it's not such a long break, right? So you don't start winter from such a bad place. Like, so no, you will get it back, but you won't be you won't just maintain it without doing anything. Right, I'm on the live. Oh, yeah. Hi, Jawo Yama. Alright, off to work. Thanks for your content. Good luck on your rehab. Thank you so much, Tom. There is literally no infrastructure. All football is corrupted here. Situation is really bad here. We don't even have a ground here. It's really bad here. Like, I want to be the best footballer in the world and I play really bad. I'm not doing okay right now either. Okay, now I hear you. This is where right now it's like, okay, have you researched this? I'm gonna make this the last question, guys. Have you researched, for example, is there a facility that you want to go to? Because there might be not anything where you are in your local area, but maybe a little bit further out there might be something. So my first question, like, if I was in your shoes, first of all, I'm gonna train myself as much as I can with what I've got. So if I need to make myself a football, trust me, I'm gonna do it. Like, when I'm saying these things, guys, like, I wish my mom was on here. Like, I'm not joking. That I've had to, like, you know when you say I can't think of the word I'm looking for, but when you are literally someone, you make stuff from nothing, yeah? If I don't need to make a football, I will make a football. If I need to create myself a little football pitch, I will do it. Somehow I'll figure out how to do it. I will do it, trust me. There's people are throwing away scraps or something, I'm going to take it. If you have to work in the daytime, at night time, you're going to spend an hour or two training, right? You're going to watch all the videos you can and create yourself a plan. How do I write a plan? What do footballers do for training? Blah, blah, blah. You're going to do it as much as you can by yourself. Now I'm going to research, where's the next school that I can go to where they've got a scholarship for people that do football? Or maybe where's the best pitch that's closest to me, even if it's a bit further out? How much do I need to get there? How much is it to use the facility? And then I'm going to make a plan to how I'm going to make that money. Even if I have to sell scraps, I'm going to do it. So basically my point is that, yes, things may not be easy for you, and I'm not saying that it's easy, because I understand that it's not. But what I'm trying to say is that sometimes if you really want something, you have to really think about how you're going to get there and make a plan to get there, and have that kind of like resilience and tenacity to actually get there. So doing what you need to. So if I need to sell scraps so that I can make money, so that I can get the train to go to this facility that's a little bit further away, and if it means that I'm gonna have to have 1 hour less sleep for this day on a week, then I'm gonna do it, because that's you told me that your goal, that's your goal for real. If you have a real goal, like I said, big dreams are possible, but you have to make a plan. You have to be realistic about what it's gonna take to achieve that goal, right? And then you need to do what you need to. You might not have what you need. Some people's barrier to entry is less. Some people got rich families, some people got people that can give them stuff, some people have the facilities just there. If you have the extra barriers, then you've got to jump those extra hurdles. I'm not saying it's easy, but it's possible, but you have to be willing to jump those extra barriers and do what you need to do to jump those extra barriers, if that makes sense. So you want to be the best footballer in the world. What does it take to be the best footballer in the world? What do you need to do? How many days do you need to train? What do you need to do to train? Who do you need to be your coach? What team do you need to play for? How are you going to get the attention of those people? Do you even need to move countries? What is it going to take for you to move countries? How could you move countries? Could it be through education? Could it be through a job? Could it be through something else in order for you to move countries? Do you have another gift that you can use to make money so that you can then achieve the goal that you want to achieve? So I hope that helps a little bit. ZZ, you have to think differently, yeah? So I'm not saying it's easy for you. I'm not saying it's easy, but if you've got a big goal like that, you've got to really take big bold steps to get to those. You have to be intentional. I have a thing called the ABCs of intentionality, and you've got to be bold. You've got to the choice that you make and the boldness that you have towards your goal. You've got to really take those big steps. So yes, thank you guys for joining me today. Just reminding you about the new athlete training diary that's available as a PDF. If you haven't subscribed to my email list, subscribe. I'll let you guys know when the warm-up routine is available for download. And if you haven't signed up for our next Pura Track Speed Camp that's happening in January, then make sure you get onto that. Alright guys, I will see you next time. Let me see if I can log off now. I don't think I can. Bye guys.